Yeah, good, okay. So, what to teach about story in 30 minutes? I've been thinking about this little lecture for a few weeks now, and I was just thinking, what the hell? How can you impart something about this massive subject that's also fairly shrouded in mystery as well? Because a lot of these processes, you get a lot of people, theorists. The first one was Aristotle. Anyone familiar with the Poetics by Aristotle? Well, the first book on how to write a story was written by Aristotle, God knows when. And it was after the period called the Great Age of Greek theatre. So after that. Before that, no one read Aristotle, they wrote. And then after that, Aristotle comes along, after the Great Age. He might have been the cause of the end of the Great Age, I don't know. But he comes along and he formalises the whole thing. He's got to have an exposition, got to have a development and recapitulation. This is the kind of stuff he kind of conjectured. And this was the paradigm of the 3-act structure that was created to explain how stories are made. And it was linear, that's the beginning. And you get people nowadays like Sid Field, and anyone heard of him? Sorry if you're watching. So it's so prescriptive now, it's absolutely unbelievable. On page 15, you must have your inciting incident. On page 45, you have your midpoint break, midpoint crisis. On page 60, you enter into Act 3. And it's very linear. I came to writing, I mean, I'm a creative kind of writer, so I came to this stuff, I thought this is going to give me some help. And actually just tied me in knots. I would sit down, I would try and sort of, write a script, I'd get to here, to my Act 2 break, and then, oh God, so many choices. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Can I set it in space? Maybe it's comedy, maybe it's set in Sheffield. So many choices, so many things to consider. And no real kind of stepping stones I had to get across this incredible gulf. 120 pages, 90 pages from beginning to end. A lot of choices to make about character, a lot of choices to make about setting, a lot of choices to make about plot. It's a nightmare, actually. So I thought, I can't go into all that stuff in 30 minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little kind of, probably a help along that I found very useful. And the first thing to understand about writing a story, writing, I say writing, write versus write. When you write something with a quill or a typewriter, you're writing something that's linear. It's a kind of flow, it's a linear flow. You start on page 1 and you finish at page didum. But look at the original spelling of playwright. P-L-A-Y-W-R-I-G-H-T. And write, look at wheelwright. There's a kind of little theme there you can find. A person who makes or repairs wooden wheels. They've got more in common with a playwright than somebody who kind of, than a person with a quill who writes stuff, a scribe. You construct a play. You construct a film. It's holistic. It's like you have certain points where you hang stuff and there's kind of like things that connect together. It's like a construction. It's not a linear path that you go from A to B. So, it's a construction. We don't write a story, we write it. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to show you today is just what do we construct it around? What's the centre of our wheel? 7 practical steps towards better story. Many thanks to John Truby. Great book, 22 Steps of Story Writing, the Anatomy of Story. It's a good book, read it. It's very dry, a bit analytical, but he gets to the nitty-gritty. I think he's a writer, he's not a sort of theorist. So, what's the film built around? It's built around a need, a weakness. We can watch one in action here.
You're cuter than I thought. I can see why she likes you.
Who?
Not too bright, though. You know why Morpheus brought you to see me. So, what do you think? Do you think you're the one?
Honestly, I don't know.
You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it. Through and through. Balls to bones. Well, I better have a look at you. Open your mouth, say ah.
Ah.
Okay. Now I'm supposed to say, that's interesting, but then you say,
But what?
but you already know what I'm going to tell you.
I'm not the one.
Sorry, kid. You got the gift, but it looks like you're waiting for something.
Need. Something is missing from the hero that is paralyzing them. Something that they are not aware of. This applies to all of us as well in our lives. There's a conflict between what you see and what the person is. This is what gives us that kind of empathy for that person. Or at least it contributes towards it. And by the way, I'm not trying to cover every type of story style. I'm basing this upon the hero quest. It's just one specific genre, but it's quite a powerful, it's a very powerful thread. It's been around for thousands of years. Okay, something that the person is not aware of. When they become aware of their need or their weakness, your film ends. We're unmotivated by kind of things that happen to us that we can't even kind of, it's not in our conscious mind, it's unconscious. You with me? So it's an unconscious motivation that's spoiling the hero, spoiling the person's life. This is what the need is. The other important thing is, it's psychological, yes, but it's also social. It's social. It's affecting other people. Okay, Neo's weakness is that he has no self-belief. He's very mental. He's along for the ride. He's a bit of a tourist in the Matrix. He's going along through the whole thing. He's watching it. He'll help out if he can. But ultimately, he's detached, disengaged, and actually he doesn't feel like he's kind of like the actual core of it. He doesn't believe in himself. That's his need. He's not aware of it. She makes him aware of it. Actually, he finishes her sentence. She says to him, "You know what I'm going to say?" He could say, "Yeah, I'm the one." But what does he say? "I'm not the one." An example of it. And interesting as well, when she shows that kind of little Latin phrase on the wall, "Know thyself." He doesn't know himself. Anybody? Okay, let's just think of a few other examples of needs. What would you say? Actually, I'll move on to the next point. The kind of core of the story is these two things. It's about needs and wants. The want is something everyday. We all want stuff. You might want a car, you might want to move, you might want that girl, you might want that guy. Whatever. You want something. It's physical, it's concrete, it's real. It's not a feeling, it's a thing. It's something, it's a promotion, it's something, it's worldly. And it takes place in the time frames. Your wants change throughout your life. But the most important thing is the want is not the need. You're conscious of your want. You know what you want, and you're going to get it. And the stronger the want, the better. Okay, little example. What would a coward maybe want?
To run away.
To run away. To hide away from the kind of soldiers, whatever. But what does a coward need? To become a better person. Yeah, courage. Strength. To access that kind of reservoir of courage inside themselves. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about. Now, I want you to get your pads out again. And turn back to your little character. Okay, so I'm going to give you half a minute. Talk amongst whoever you're next to. If you're on your own, that's fine. Talk to yourself. Okay, so 30 seconds And I want you to when I say that the need isn't just psychological, the need is social, it affects somebody else. So I give you a weakness at the beginning, yeah? Shout a few out, what do I give you? Shirks his responsibilities. Who might that affect? That's your job now. What does their weakness, who does their weakness affect? Could be a bunch of people, like in Neo's case, it affects the whole of humanity, because he doesn't become the one. Darth Vader, his need was to actually open his heart and be loving. His want was to control the universe and be the Dark Lord. So it's quite there's a big sort of difference between the need and the want. Think about only the need. Don't get it confused with the want. It's not a car, it's not real, it's something inside that's affecting somebody else. 30 seconds, I'm going to point to you and find out who's written what. Okay, well, that's it, finished. I'll point to a few people. Anyone, hands up if you've got a really nice one. Come on. No?
Yeah.
Okay, go on then, yeah.
Yeah, Raymond Wright, he's inexperienced but overconfident.
And he's a spy?
And he's a spy. He wants to be the best in the academy at the spy place, but his inner need is that he's actually unconfident inside.
Wow, a lot of people like that.
Oh, well, we flipped it.
Yeah, very good. Okay, good. Carry on. Anybody else?
We've got a nice
Okay, go on then. Yeah.
We've got Armando, our wizard that's shirked responsibilities. So he wants to hide away.
He wants to hide away.
He wants to hide away from what he needs to be. He's actually a leader.
Fantastic. Very good. So automatically you're getting conflict into the kind of heart of your story, which is the person. And the conflict is the kind of hub of the wheel. Somebody else? One more?
We've got Gordon the Monkey King, who shirks responsibilities. He wants respect from his subjects, but he doesn't understand that he feels like he should just have respect since the kid.
And his need is to?
His need is to realise that it's up to him to earn the respect rather than everyone else.
Fantastic. I mean, automatically, I'm sorry to kind of talk about this, Tales of Desperate. Like, the guy had no inner need. He started out his little heroic mouse, at the end he was a little heroic mouse. Whoa. You know, like, it's not going to hook you in. Okay, right. But beautiful animation. Okay, so external ones. Sorry if you were done that. That's a big claim.
Blood and sweat the way.
The animation was fantastic. Right, okay, so the one, the surface and the need. The surface of your film is what the people think the film's about. Above the surface, you think this film's about some space sort of pirates or whatever Star Wars is about. Beneath the surface, there's a kind of like, where the sort of 2/3 of the iceberg is, that's where it's happening. Because at some point, along the way, both Luke Skywalker and his dad, they're going to have some kind of revelation about their inner need. I mean, the big one, actually, the hub of the wheel of Star Wars is Darth Vader, without a doubt. The above the line, the want, thing that everybody's conscious of, thing that you can see, he wants to kind of like control the universe. It's a big shock. In fact, George Lucas, he hid that line about "I'm your father, Luke." In the original screening of the film, where it was a test audience, the scene where he gets his hand cut off, Luke, and his kind of father's holding him, they put another line in saying it was, "I know where Leia is." That was the line they put in, and they saved it for the audience, because it was a big shock. It was a big shock, and didn't want it leaking out. Okay, right. Next section. See if you can work out what I'm going to talk about.